Hi everyone, this is Isaac Sacolick or NY Ike on Twitter, and in this 46th episode of 5 Minutes with NY Ike, I'm going to share 4 key leadership skills for those of you leading initiatives under digital transformation programs. You know, more businesses need people like you to ask questions, to challenge the status quo, and to lead teams on new ways of doing business. So let's get started on these 4 skills of digital transformation leaders. Now, there are many important leadership skills, but there are 4 that I want to call out that are particularly important around leading digital transformation initiatives. It starts with developing great relationships with your colleagues, with your stakeholders. It then goes on to being able to host a collaborative discussion, debate, asking questions around a topic, but then ending those meetings with clear decisions, and then going off and communicating them meaningfully and efficiently. And then lastly, the important skill of being able to not just create an idea and come up with it, but being able to market your best ideas. So let's look at these in a little bit more detail, starting with relationship building. You know, we have a limit of time every single week to do our work. And I ask you, how much of that time are you spending on developing relationships with colleagues, with stakeholders, and other leaders? It requires developing a plan. Who are you going to speak to? What are you trying to learn? What are you trying to share? And to aim your relationship building with people that you have access to, right? You're not going to be able to go talk to the CEO or the CMO every single week, but you can talk to members of their staff and other people that you have direct access to. I also like doing this with my staff, right? Instructing and guiding them on who they need to develop deep relationships with. So it starts with having a plan and knowing who you're going to develop relationships with that you have access to. Second thing is around how decisions are made. Now, we've seen this before. We get in a room, we discuss, we have a conversation. We never end with formalized decisions. So if you're bringing a group together for an hour, leave the last 15 minutes at the end to close with what decisions are being made. That's an important skill for a digital transformation leader because we need to move the organization forward efficiently, and we're never going to get there if we're going to continuously debate, question, and never get to a discussion or a decision. Now, that decision should be documented. It should include as much data that we have on hand, and then we're going to get into how we communicate them. Right? We don't want to have every single person at a meeting that's not efficient. We want them to be able to see the meeting if they need to so we can record them. We want a central place where decisions are being captured, right? Just like other tools, whether it's user stories or documentation, we try to centralize it so people know how to find it. So if I'm not involved in a decision or I'm away from for a week, where do I go to see what decisions were made in the initiatives, in the strategies that I work on, and more importantly, when are those decisions being revisited? Right, the data is going to change. We're going to capture feedback, and we're going to have to decide when we're going to course correct or when we're going to pivot. Right, and communications play so much in that being able to decide something quickly, share that information, and then be efficient about when you're going to revisit it. Lastly, when I think about marketing my ideas, you know, it's important to have a plan around this. Who do you need on board? What's in it for them, right? And understanding why is it a win, right? It's so important to being able to realize that your ideas are in competition with others. The organization cannot prioritize everything. And so it comes down to not just having a business plan or an idea, it's being able to market them. Now, what you can see here is it's not just about these 4 skills. And if you look at the blog post that accompanies this video, I share how to think about bringing these skills together, right? So it's not just about decision making, it's also about how to communicating them efficiently. And I share a bunch of different, specifically I share different ways around communicating them so people don't feel left out. If you leave people out of a decision, it's a very easy way for them to become detractors because they weren't part of the discussion. So have the discussion, document it, communicate it, and then share when you're going to revisit it. Another area I share in the blog post is around developing relationships that lead to being able to get supporters to market your ideas, right? If you show up in the room and share your idea, your business case, and market them, but you have no relationships with people in the room, it's going to be very hard for them to prioritize what you are asking for versus other things that are on the docket that could be prioritized. So very important to being able to have those relationships to go out and market what you're trying to do. Now, in the blog post, I share this information. A lot of this goes into information that I share in my book, Digital Trailblazer, that's coming out soon. And one of the key lessons, I share 50 different lessons in that book. One of the key lessons I share, and it's the very first one, is to reflect on the skills that got you here won't get you there. So you've been a developer, you've been a product owner, you've been a data scientist. When you start looking to lead initiatives, now you need to start thinking about how you're going to develop relationships, where you're going to have collaborative discussions and debate, but how to get decisions rationalized, communicated, and then being able to listen and take your best ideas, use your relationships to go out and market them. So I hope you will pick up a copy of Digital Trailblazer. You could see it in the URL above, digitaltrailblazer.com, where you can learn more about the book. And I hope this will be useful to you in your journeys. Thank you for watching this episode of 5 Minutes with NY Ike. There'll be more episodes coming up. I hope you will subscribe to our channel, and I look forward to seeing you in future episodes. Have a great day.